So you will get those white folks that coming up to you and say, "I'm not racist. I don't see color," and which is to me hogwash because the minute I look at Vic and I look at me in the mirror, I see brown skin. So I absolutely do see color. So that to me, that's just a way to try to say you're not racism, which to me is disingenuous. All right, everybody.
Yep.
Welcome back to Will Said with Kim and Vic. I'm Kim.
I'm Vic.
And thanks for joining us on our channel, Seeking Educational Excellence. Make
Yes.
sure you like,
Share.
and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment
Down
on
below.
what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Now we're going to, this is part 4 of our, I'm getting better at counting, Vic, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Of our series on racism. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the social media perspective on race, because we see it so much, especially in American society. Race is such a huge issue.
Yeah.
And it's in so much in our vernacular, in our lexicon, and every time you turn around, we're talking
But you know,
about
it's so
race.
fast. But the thing about it seems like people have like an acid reflux response.
Yeah, like a
I'm not racist. I have a black friend. Okay,
Oh.
people.
yeah.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. And I think this is like kind of like a knee-jerk
reaction, right? Well, you got to think about
I
it
think
too.
it's on both sides, though.
Yeah.
Because I hear people, black people, say the same thing. So it's like my white friends. Why couldn't you just say my
Your
friend?
right?
I mean, does it have to have a color with it? But
Mm-hmm.
like once again, if you go back to our first video with chaos, we
Go check out all of them.
we spoke extensively about the bell, ringing the bell. Okay, they've been ringing the bell, racist, 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 racist. And your response now when you're in a conversation with someone, it's right away you basically defend yourself that you have either a black friend or a white friend.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what the bell is ringing. He's ringing the bell, and every time that bell rings, your response has been, "I'm not racist. I have this type of friend," to basically solidify yourself as being acceptance of everyone, and you don't need to do that.
Well, I think that in response to, like you said, on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
racism to me, especially the way it's used in society, in American
Mm-hmm.
society, number one, it's used as a cudgel against white folks to make them feel guilty.
Yes.
Right? And we always talk about white privilege and slavery and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So you will get those white folks that coming up to you and say, "I'm not racist. I don't see color," and which is to me hogwash because the minute I look at Vic, and I look at me in the mirror, I see brown skin. So I absolutely do see color. So that, to me, that's just a way to try to say you're not racism, which to me is disingenuous.
Well,
it don't have anything to do with, if you don't see color, then you're being
But
disingenuous.
the thing about it is what you're saying. You said white privilege. They told me I have what? Black privilege. So does it really make sense? They say that black people have black privilege.
Well, you can call affirmative action that. You can call quotas, whenever you turn around. Like, let's get the first black president. Let's get the first this, first that.
It's silly.
That's
It's
a
silly.
form of privilege.
Because I think they separate from affirmative action. Is it privilege that people go to work and work hard, and they are enjoying the fruit of their labor? Is that considered black or white privilege?
Well, let those who are in charge or those who are in the upper classes tell it. Yes, they believe that, and it's another form of division.
Yeah.
That's perpetrated or pushed onto society. Excuse me. To make us keep fighting.
But the thing about it is, we still have that within our own lower class and middle class. We have people saying that the lower class is telling the middle class that they have privilege because they may be middle class and not lower class.
Right.
So to me, it's not really making any sense of their argument. Those that are on top is not always ringing that. It's just like a trickle down effect. So you have the top telling the middle with the lower class. The lower class is saying that the middle class is white privilege, black privilege, and because they see that they may be a little far ahead than they are. So each level, there's a class clash. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know.
So
Absolutely.
so
I do.
it's kind of like a little mind-boggling to me. But if I'm wrong, I want people to put comments in the box, because if you can enlighten us, would be great. Because like we said, we are here to learn, and we're here to
bring some perspective on where we're coming from.
Yeah.
With social media these days too, you see it a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to race, I see it when I go onto any platform most of the time, whether it's Facebook. I got that from Vic. And whether it's Twitter, even you see that there is a definite agenda against race, or promoting race, where the whole convoluted thing really is the classes are trying to get us to fight, and then along with the class system, or along with the racism or the fake racism that's being pushed. Because we saw scientifically that race really doesn't exist. Scientifically, we're more alike than we are. Genetically, we're identical for the most part.
Most definitely.
And so what we're seeing across social media, and I think there was an instance too where I think we saw where one presidential opponent was calling another one a racist.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
See, there's something to be gained from doing that. They're taking what's proven scientifically not to exist, and saying it over and over and over like it does, and using it as a cudgel.
But you know what? The thing about it is, in our very first video, go back and look at it, under chaos, we talked about how if you say it a certain many a times, that it connects, and the person will start to believe it and begin to use it. Now we see today, we see how chaotic everything is being portrayed, and we have the president-elect, and there's no such thing in the Constitution. However, we see it on the media, social media. If you say it a certain many of times, they feel that, okay, they're going to get it. Now you hear people saying,
President-elect, and there's no such office.
Yeah, and there's no such thing. And Bernie Sanders was just on the news this morning saying the same thing about us accepting the election. And I'm saying to myself, there's no one has been declared winner.
Right. The election hasn't been certified. That's the funny thing and even when we talk about the social media perspective, it seems as though the social media is being used to condition people.
Yes.
It's going right back to what you said about one of the things we talked about, where there was a concerted effort back in the 50s and the 60s from the KGB. And if you don't know who the KGB is, it's like the secret police of Russia. Was it of Russia? I believe it is. Or Germany, one of them. One of those socialist countries where they use propaganda to indoctrinate people. So if you can say something every day over and over, I think it was the time period 2.5 months, even if it's a lie, people will start to believe it. Even when presented with information that would dispute what they believe, they will reject it. So the social conditioning is on.
And so we see a lot of Facebook taking down people that is that may
not
be
promoting that narrative
that he's the presidential elect. If that's not written on your Facebook page and you are disclaiming it, your articles right away flagged as fake,
fact checked, right?
And it's incorrect. So they're hoping that they can push this narrative for a whole month into December 14th. Enough times that people are really going to believe it. They're very, very strategic in what they're doing.
They're very clever. Here's the thing, too, just to bring it all the way back to this series we're talking about racism. if you can be given a message over and over again, whether it's true or not, you will start to believe it. All it takes is 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So we've had over 500 years
Yes.
of racism being promoted like it's something real when it isn't.
Yes.
So we just want to encourage you guys just to remember that. And for our white brothers and sisters, please, if you don't do anything else, don't pander to black folks. Don't make us feel like victims, because we're not.
No.
We have even in our series have shown and given you reason to believe that race doesn't exist.
Yes.
That we have characteristics that are immutable. We can't help the color of our skin, the color of our eyes, our noses or anything, the hair. We don't determine that.
Yeah.
But we are more alike.
Then we are
All
different.
of us, we're part of the human species.
Yes.
We are not divided by race. As a matter of fact, we're more alike than we are different. So I just want to encourage you guys to just take what we're giving you. Go study it. Go get your Britannica.
Yeah.
It's a great resource. Start going back to the libraries.
Let me tell you something. Even in the library, some of them are covering up certain books. But you go and you speak to your librarian and you tell her you want the old version of the encyclopedias.
Yes.
And she'll get them for you. In addition, if you go to stores, thrift stores,
And get some of the
consignment
older,
store, get
yes.
some of those. Ask could you buy that whole entire encyclopedia edition?
That's a great idea. Because it's going to have actual
facts. Yeah.
Yes. It won't be
It's very
manipulated.
set.
Because,
Exactly.
unfortunately, we get so much news and information from social media.
Yeah.
Which can be manipulated.
Yeah.
So that's a great point, sis.
Yeah.
So, you guys, we really appreciate you joining us again on our 5-part series on racism, looking at social media, just whatever you see on social media, just take it with a grain of salt. Make sure you check, recheck. Go, like she said, go to your libraries, talk to your librarian, go buy some old books, and read for yourself and find out. That's our whole mantra here on Seeking Educational Excellence.
Because we
we'll,
always trying to bring it straight to the head.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys.
She got me. So thanks a lot for joining us. And in the meantime, peace.